Good evening everyone. I am by Aisha Banu. I am from CSC branch first BTech first semester. Today I am giving a presentation on array manipulation using pointers. From this explanation we come to know how we can perform various operations on arrays using the pointers. First of all, I am giving a introduction. What are pointers? A pointer is a variable that stores the memory address of another variable. In C or C++, pointers are used to access and manipulate memory directly. Why we are using pointers with arrays? Thus, because it efficiently access and modify array elements, it saves memory and processing time, it enables dynamic memory allocation and data structures. The relationship between arrays and pointers is nothing but array itself acts as a pointer. The name of an array is a pointer to its first element. For example, int array of 5 means array is equivalent to address of array of 0th element. Arrays can be accessed using the pointers with arithmetic. And declaration example is mentioned here. The initialization is done by 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Accessing the array elements using the pointers. Array of I is equivalent to star of array plus I. For example, printf %d/array of 2, it gives final output 3, and if we take printf %d/star array plus 2, the output will be 3. This represents that they both are equivalent to each other. Next, it comes to pointer incrementing. The ptr++ moves to the next element in the array. The example is mentioned here. Before incrementing, the output is 1, and after incrementing, the output is 2. The modification of array elements using the pointers is shown with the examples and also includes the swapping of elements. Here you can see int array of elements. The initialization is done with 10, 20 and 30. Here the modification of elements is done by dereferencing the pointer. Now swapping of elements is done by using the below logic. Iteration through arrays using the pointers is based on loops. First of all, in the above case, for loop is used, and the below case while loop is used for the iteration. Dynamic memory allocation using malloc and free is nothing but memory allocation and free. It allocates memory dynamically for arrays using the pointers. An example is mentioned using the memory allocation and free for deallocation of memory. Benefits are they are flexible in managing the memory. They are efficient for the use of memory. Passing the arrays to functions. Passing by reference using the pointers. An example is mentioned for passing the arrays, and their advantages are it saves memory and it avoids copying the entire array. Advanced manipulations include accessing the elements using the mentioned expression and pointer to pointer for dynamic 2D arrays. Examples are also mentioned here. Focus on it. Common pitfalls with pointers. Pointer errors. Dangling pointer is accessing the memory after it has been freed. Memory leaks. Not freeing allocated memory. Segmentation fault is accessing the invalid memory. The best practices are always initialize pointers, use free function to deallocate dynamically allocated memory, be cautious with pointer arithmetic. Now it comes to example program. In this program, you can clearly see a function to display array elements using the pointers. Its purpose is to print all elements of the array using the pointers. The working of this function is to take a pointer that is nothing but int star array and its size int size. It uses the pointer arithmetic star array plus I to access each element of the array. The loop prints each element followed by a space. It will be displayed in the output. Next, it comes to function to modify array elements using the pointers. Its purpose is to add a value. In this case, as you can see, we are adding 10 to each element of the array. The function takes a pointer to an array and its size. It loops through the array, adding 10 to each element using the pointer arithmetic. For example, if you initialize with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it will display the result as 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15. And next it comes to function to find the sum of array elements using the pointers. To calculate the sum of the array elements, we are using this function, and in this function we are initializing the sum to 0 and using the for loop for the processing of sum. Finally, it returns the sum. Next it comes to function to reverse the array using the pointers. In this case, we are using two pointers. The first pointer is the start, which represents the beginning of an array, and the another one is end, which represents the ending, last element. Here we are using the while loop to swap the elements pointed by start and end. Next it comes to the main function. Main function is nothing but it is used to test all the above functions. It initializes the integers array has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and calls various functions to display, modify, sum and reverse. Finally, it will display the results of all the operations. Now it comes to output. Here you can clearly see the original array elements are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here you can clearly see that these are displayed with spaces. After modification of array elements, it is displayed as 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. The sum is 65 and the reverse array elements are 15, 14, 13, 12 and 11. Finally, the process is reversed. Conclusion is that pointers offer powerful capabilities for array manipulation. They are efficient for performance critical applications and they are essential for dynamic data structures. Thank you for your attention.